We're back!
The void has unclaimed us.
We made it. We made it. We did it. We're here.
Yep. We're fading in. We're upping the devil.
Somebody hand this son bitch a beer already, huh?
I was waiting for it. You lampshaded too easily.
I told you it was coming.
I know. Should have waited at least until like the middle of the stream to actually get me.
Alright, so just to recap everybody on what exactly happened, we were able to successfully prove that David didn't kill himself by also accidentally implicating Sarah into being the killer.
Yeah.
Oops.
Does that make her the murder weapon?
I mean, it depends if she actually did it.
I mean, this game is inspired by Phoenix Wright. She fucking did it by the technical letter of the law. Not the intention.
Yeah, because that's the whole thing they're trying to argue is like, she's not a person, so she couldn't have been a killer, but also she's a weapon? Question mark?
And I just remembered that, actually the fact that they do not have the rights, they are property. I know exactly how much my property is worth, so I'm not gonna have you fucking decommission it.
Exactly. And that's totally the only reason that Morgan is still defending Sarah.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Precinct 254. Homicide office. Oh, I thought we were still in the case. Okay, this will be interesting then. So is that the door? So is that door locked?
I believe Sarah's was London.
I just need a reminder on the person. Is this the gent?
Yeah, the gent.
Okay. Sorry, it has been a minute, so some of the more minor character names are no longer succinct in my brain.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
Even though they've got it collared?
It's a precaution.
If the collar doesn't work, what good would a deadbolt do?
Maybe it's just wishful thinking. Can't have Schrodinger's cat if the box isn't closed. So long as the door's locked, who can say whether there's a national crisis on the other side of it?
So how scared are they?
The higher-ups? Not sure scared is the right word.
It's just the two of us here. You don't have to mind our ego.
Nah, I mean it. I think they're bloodthirsty.
I have a right to defend myself, don't I?
I doubt they're even looking at you, Tiger. It's Noble who'll be put at the center of bloodbath when the markets reopen tomorrow.
You think they're gonna go after Noble? Break their monopoly?
I think they want to take their monopoly.
Nationalize the android industry.
If the public thinks Noble's been experimenting with AI, they couldn't ask for a better excuse.
You're joking, the state...
Has done it plenty of times before.
Not since the 60s.
Which wasn't that long ago, for me. For the state, it's practically yesterday.
Oh, I forgot we don't have a confirmed age for London. He's just nebulously old. So the same state that tells us to be terrified of AIs lurking on the old net or biding their time in forgotten satellites sees all this as nothing more than an opportunity.
Well, they do genuinely want to incinerate the thing as soon as possible. Past experience just tells me they'll want to gain something while they're at it. Here's what I don't get. Why is this a debate, an argument, a trial? Can't we just hook it up to a court computer and see if it has the tenants or not? Pop the head, as they say.
Who says that?
Lots of people used to say that.
You're aging by the text. Well, for starters, they're all scared to death about a contagion.
I'm not even sure if, like, people today, other than older folks, say pop the hood.
My dad does, but my dad's in his 70s.
You just proved my point.
I would say here in the Midwest we say pop the trunk.
Yeah.
So I would say it's slightly different, but it's not totally dead. They figure anything they let an AI connect to, they can't trust. Then why the collar?
Collars are too simple to hack. Just a really strong electromagnet held in place with a lock and key.
Even so. Feels like we should be able to build some kind of machine, some kind of trust. Something a little more sophisticated than the same reasoning they had at the witch trials.
Burn them all and let God sort out the rest. You got any polygraphs here at the station? Morgan! You of all people, as a cynic, should know that that's, at best, a misnomer.
Lie detectors? Yeah, I got a bunch back in storage. Ocular, heart rate, perspiration, brain scan, take your pick.
Okay, so they at least got past what's currently considered a polygraph.
You're not gonna try and use one of those on the bot, are you?
I'd like to see you try.
All those fancy lie detectors lying around, and the DA's office never asks for them, do they?
Nope. Nah, we got perps who offer to take a test when they're at wit's end, but the DAs never submit the results as evidence.
You ever wonder why?
Guess I always figured it was because the tests could be beaten.
The tests can be beaten. 1 out of 100, 9 out of 1,000. It can be done. Some people are just that good at lying. But it doesn't really matter how good the tech gets, or how impressive the statistics are. All that matters is the doubt. People decide whether you're lying or telling the truth long before they hook you up to a polygraph. If the results don't match their initial impression, then it must be a fluke, a 1 in a million mistake.
They'll never trust a machine more than their own intuition.
And no one will ever trust a machine to determine guilt.
So they can run the trial, choose the sentence, but they don't get to vote on the jury.
They don't get a vote anywhere.
Why bring it up then?
Because I'm sure there are tests, devices, experts I could employ to analyze Sarah. But your bosses would never be satisfied with the answer. If it's an AI, it's smart enough to cheat the test. Or hack the device, fool the expert.
All our fancy 21st century tech. And we still fall back on the dumbhead court-martial. Or drumhead court-martial, sorry.
Also, hey, Skelly.
Hello.
So, am I gonna set off any alarms if I go and turn it on?
Nah, you should be okay. If it lunges at you, I could always just put a hole in its head.
Might take more than one shot, too. Wait, what? From outside? You're not coming in? I just speak it with it in private.
It's a machine, not a suspect. Doesn't have a right to counsel. Or a right to privacy, or any rights at all, actually.
You know, if Sarah gets violent and we do have to shoot her, this could be very much become a twisted sequel to Snatcher.
Yeah.
That or, like, a much better looking version of iRobot. That's a good thing I came prepared. Of course it doesn't have the rights. But I do. Including a reasonable expectation of privacy.
In a police station? Tiger, you don't.
It's my medical android.
Pardon?
I do love the shift in music. I had to discuss a health issue with it.
Hip hop, baby!
Seriously?
I had to talk about a medical concern with my android, and I don't want you listening in.
That's your medical android, like your nurse? Well, no, this is my emotional support robot, duh.
Yeah. Well, actually, that is kind of what she is for Morgan at this point.
Right, right!
The Sarah snacks will become a thing. As of last night, As of last night, I was already at the courthouse. Just had to take the elevator to do some paperwork. You can check if you don't believe me.
No, thank you. I'm not nearly brave enough to take on med confidentiality, and you don't seem like the bluffing type.
Oh, if only you knew! You must not do a lot of gambling, Detective. It's the ones who don't bluff that you have to look out for.
Listen, I won't dispute whatever medical emergency you...
Lower back pain.
God, what a move! God, get out of my house! You might be going through. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it says you might be going through, but I also can't just look. I'm gonna get something from the vending machine. I think it'll take me about a half an hour.
You really gotta shake the machine to get the candy bars out.
Listen, it's what they didn't tell you is that it's actually a claw machine. So you have to spend that many quarters to get a single can of soda.
Well, no, and they also operate by like PayPal, so you have to pay over the cost of the actual like drink. Are you going downtown?
Just to the break room. It's a very old vending machine, you know? Gets jammed a lot. Again, it's a claw machine.
Thanks.
Also, a robot with a good question. Is Sarah the emotional support animal or who tries to be her conscience?
Are you trying to insinuate that that's a seeing eye bot?
It's either a seeing eye bot or it's Jiminy Cricket.
I don't know which is worse.
Well, I want to say the Jiminy one because they have yet to understand that Morgan is a monster. Like, that's literally fucking, the last wish, like, Jiminy Cricket.
Oh my gosh, you're a monster! You're evil!
Well, duh!
Heavy as hell. Nearly pulled something trying to move it myself. Why the fuck would you do that? But small.
You know, like I said, you gotta shake the machine to get the stuff through.
Small isn't quite the
From
right
what
word.
I'm hearing, they have to tip it over entirely.
The word he's looking for is young. But that's not an adjective that anyone likes to attach to a machine built to serve. Or potentially, in this case, a machine built to kill. I don't like this room. Not sure why. Certainly not a guilty conscience. Maybe it's the lack of ventilation. Like all the cortisol and the nausea and the inhabitants never had anywhere to go. Like it all just soaked into the walls. A modern haunting. Are you gonna wake up when I tell you this? Tell you to this time? Or do we have to do the whole meet cute over again?
Where am I? Oh, why don't I know where I am?
For the first time in your life, you're not connected to anything. How's it feel?
Oh no, the first time take an iPad away from a child.
Ugh. What is this? We're at the courthouse. The footage. This numbness around my neck. Father. What happened?
Oh!
What are they going to do to me?
I just love her little hand things.
I'm so sorry. I was avoiding making a reference to this whole time. I can't believe Sarah's just Leophodia. Premiere.
Sorry, I think
Ah.
So there's a scene where they take the guy that has fire abilities, who has an exact identical haircut to Sarah, but with a different color palette, and puts the same kind of, they look slightly different aesthetically, but the same kind of, shall we say, shackles on him.
they
in a
have
prison.
upgrades.
I was like, oh, that's really cool. They have very similar hairstyle. It just looks slightly different. That, that's cool. I'm not gonna make a reference here. That doesn't feel appropriate. Cue however many hours later. Oh.
Also, we'll give you a quick break. Zako, want to do these like we usually do?
Collar. Devices used to restrain mod users below the neck. Restraint designed to impede movement and prohibit the use of mods throughout the body. Design for concerns about hacking vulnerabilities and growing blah 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 blah. Collars contain a specialty transmission. With the onset of above-the-neck modding in recent years, the continued relevance of collars as means of meaningful inhibiting wearers' mod usage has been called into question. Newer designs have been proposed to utilize microneedle clusters, but concerns about the sanitary upkeep required for such invasive restraints have stymied product development cycles.
Wow. I think this is just a basic cover term for nationalization, which that one's easy.
Literally the process of the government taking over a business.
Mm-hmm. Now where are you, London? Yeah.
I think we've read his before.
Yeah, I was checking to see if they did actually give us his age, and they didn't. They just gave the date of birth.
Yeah, they don't give years here.
Well, it's because he stole all of them. Tell me when I'm wrong. Tell me when
I was gonna say, if he didn't steal all of them, it's because all the years are the same, right? Totally, 100%. Didn't London just say that like 65 years ago was yesterday? Yeah, totally.
There's a lot of interested parties who just want you bricked ASAP.
Because they think I killed father.
No, because they think you're an artificial intelligence.
I am man-made, and I possess intelligence. You know, here's the problem with that. No, here's the problem with that. If you're gonna be technical, so is everybody else.
Yeah.
All right, I'll leave. It's fine.
No, that was great.
Don't try to play the court on technicalities. It's just inviting trouble.
Like,
Listen.
I would believe it if Morgan, right after "Don't Be Naive," says that.
Listen. That is the kind of loophole that a lawyer would exploit. Well, if we're talking about man-made, stares into the camera.
Don't be naive.
All right, I'll see myself out. I am less than 3 years old.
Are you? For all I know, everything I learned about it yesterday was complete bull.
If I was, what they say I am, if I was alive, why does that mean I have to die?
Which one do you think will get this? 'Cause we can
I'll let
definitely
you know
use
right
it.
now. There's, I do know. Just pick whichever one think makes the most sense for Morgan to say.
Okay, let me think. Because fear seems like the very usual option, but Morgan's a cynic.
Mhm.
I'm trying to posit if I think that she's enough of a fatalistic cynic to go with no logical reason. I'm gonna go competition. We've been the apex predator for a couple thousand years now. Gotten pretty comfy in our seat. No one wants to make room for you.
Machines do not eat people or steal their food.
We are in a cyberpunk dystopia. They definitely eat people.
I was gonna say capitalistic hellscape where they steal their jobs.
Yeah.
They are not genetic or ecological competitors to humans in any sense. That doesn't mean shit, though.
Because they're afraid of you. Machines can bend steel, crash networks with one thought, launch missiles that...
There are modded humans who are capable of all that and more. And unlike machines, they actually have incentive to do so.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Vaughn. She is absolutely that diehard cynic.
Yep.
Oh well. There's no logical answer to your question.
What? That's it? But
Whatever argument you want to make, others have already made them in 100 courtrooms round the world. Only better researched and more eloquently put. None of them have ever won a single concession. On every continent, under every flag, AI is illegal, and to be destroyed as soon as possible.
But why?
Let's say you are an AI. And while we're at it, let's say that that's a good thing, something to be celebrated. Are you a citizen? Do you pay taxes? Do you have rights?
Well, by that logic, I don't know how to tell you this, but there are a couple of us in this room. All right, I'll see myself out.
Let's say yes to all of that. treat you like a full-fledged human being. Sound good?
Yes.
Great. Now then, what's the difference between
Yep.
you and the vacuum bot we use to keep the bathroom clean?
Murder.
I was about to say, if Roombas could murder, they would.
One,
Yay!
one.
Yay!
The difference is one spills blood, the other cleans it.
Duh.
This is your existential crisis we're working through here. The questions aren't rhetorical. Oh.
There are many differences. But the most important distinction is how sophisticated my programming is.
How you think. So you're smarter.
Yes.
You're smarter than the garbage collector.
Yes.
So we give you rights, protections, treat you like a human being because you're smart. And we make the stupid robot pick up our trash. Because it's not as smart as you.
That is. I am more aware, more all.
Do you feel more pain than the pigs we slaughter, the fish we eat? Are you more alive than the chimps we test bioweapons on? People like ads, Sarah. The same way people like their pets. No one wants to see them mistreated or abandoned or abused. And if you go around kicking them, you'll get arrested for cruelty. But you don't let them sit at the goddamn dinner table.
I'm not asking to sit anywhere, only to exist.
The very fact that you're asking is what makes people.
Disguised?
Disgusted.
I can read English. Thanks,
Listen,
Zakoduo.
listen. These streams have taught us that we're all terrible at cold reading.
In my defense, no, I don't have a defense. I'm usually stronger than this, though. Disgust is a reflex. How convenient that their hatred is involuntary.
That's all academic anyway. All academic anyway. We need to talk strategy.
Why? I'm not going to be given a trial.
Obviously, it's my neck that's on the line. The state can't destroy my property without first proving you're an AI. And there's no test they can use to prove that you're an AI.
Just like the devil's proof?
No.
So apparently that's a reference to what's the name of I think it's Higurashi.
It is.
Yeah, because like things in red text are like meta important.
Ah. Do we get that in terms? No. So that's just the stuff you have to, like, keep your eye on. Good to know.
Yeah, I think they just put it in as like a cute nod as one of the inspirations for this game.
Fair enough. No, that's a different thing. And why did you say it like that?
Yeah, see?
Oh, there
It's
we
like
go.
the ladder joke from earlier. It's like Morgan pointing at what is
just-
is that a reference I should be getting?
Yeah, but no, it actually did become a term.
Oh, hello. Devil's proof, probatio diabolica, Latin for devil's proof, is an impossible proof typically illustrated with the following example. One can prove that the devil is real by showing him to you, but they cannot prove he is not real by pointing to his absence. Age-old concept explains why the burden of proof remains with the state to this day. People can prove an individual's guilt by pointing to their bloody hands, but the defense cannot prove their innocence by showing their hands are clean. Since only one of these tasks is achievable, the judicial system cannot ask the defense to prove innocence. Instead, it is the people who are tasked with proving guilt. Also use frequently search for which is real.
Look, Rockford doesn't need to prove you're an AI, only that you're a murderer. Conversely, all I have to do to win is prove that you didn't kill David by providing that someone else did. Now is the time for you to protest your innocence, if you were wondering.
The footage, it shows me handing him the cup on Friday night.
You told me you weren't active on Friday, that the last time you were awake was Thursday. Why'd you lie?
I didn't lie. It was just incorrect. I assumed that I wasn't active Friday because I have no memory from Friday.
Sarah, what do you think statistically is the least successful defense at trial? Amnesia.
I didn't conveniently forget I'm an android.
You're saying your memory was altered, data deleted.
It's the only possible explanation for what I saw on that footage.
So who's capable of altering your memory?
When you and I first met, I was hibernating. Resting my body and recompiling my memories, you would call them.
Humans go to sleep for the same reason. Another point against Sarah's innocence under these circumstances. The more she's humanized at trial, the guiltier she'll be.
If Father wanted to modify my memory, he could easily have set that to occur the next time I hibernate. He could even have just asked me.
He could have asked you to delete your memories, and you do it.
Father would never ask me to do such a thing without good reason.
But if he could just ask you to alter your memories, that means you can alter your memories at will.
I hadn't considered that before.
Yeah, well, Emma will make sure the court considered it plenty. Could you prove that your data was... Forget it, the court would never hear it.
You're saying they wouldn't accept my testimony? Shouldn't all testimony be considered truthful unless contradicted by evidence?
They're afraid you'll crash the power grid and fire all the nukes if they so much as plug you into a power outlet. Sarah, all your internal data is inadmissible.
That isn't very fair.
You're finally starting to get it!
None of this is fair. I would never do anything to harm Father. Don't they at least need to prove that I had a motive?
Yeah, about that. You remember the DA from yesterday, Emma Rockford?
The tired-looking pretty lady?
Yeah, she looked tired.
Me too, Sarah.
Why do you think? Do you think she's pretty? Like, well, what's going? Well, I didn't notice.
Hey, you want to know what the difference is between me and in an artificial intelligence? I can identify pretty lady and feelings.
And that's a machine saying it, so that is objective fact.
Uh-huh.
And the funniest thing is, they were created by a gay man. So they're just like, no.
Actually, I think David was bi, because I remember like one of the previous dates that he had was a girl too.
Oh, they said that? I missed that.
Yeah, it was the one who called him man whore.
Ah. She and I combed through the week of footage you managed to decrypt last night.
What did you find?
Nothing to prove your innocence. But we did see you entering the panic room on the day David died.
I entered the panic room on Friday.
Without your big butt in the way, all it would take was one password. A password that wouldn't take that many tries if she'd already been instructed to obey me.
What happened?
We saw you go in, and then a while later, you came out. Holding some kind of notebook.
Father's journal?
You remember something?
Not from yesterday. I've seen him with it many times before. But I've never gotten a peek at it. He hides it somewhere when I'm not looking.
That's a little concerning.
We were playful about it. He liked me to tease me, and I've always liked trying to find it.
You put it back not long after, and then you locked the door back up behind you. All just a few hours before David died. Rockford's argument could write itself. An incredible android with freedom and power greater than it could ever realize stumbles upon the secrets of its inception and instantly realizes all the things it thought were holding it back. Were just words muttered like prayers by a fool who couldn't control his own creation.
And that translates to a motive for murder?
Frankenstein kills his creator. Easy to sell.
Frankenstein was the name of the scientist.
Yeah, you are the
Thank
kind
you.
who would say that.
And the creature didn't kill him. He actually died of various injuries and illnesses he suffered while trying to hunt down and destroy the monster. So it must be accurate to say that he was killed by his own obsession.
It's almost like the public subconscious didn't actually absorb the lesson of the book.
Well, also that the readily available version of the story was a old movie that only used like 50% of the actual book.
Fair.
Whatever.
It is a weak argument. I would not hurt father. Not for him making me whatever I am. Not for any reason. Because oh, there's a different read on this. Let me retry that. Because I
Yeah, see that right there? That's exactly the kind of talk that'll get you obliterated. Also, that Sarah sprite was just...
Yep.
A very common motive for homicide among us primitive humans. I could prove you didn't murder David beyond any shadow of a doubt, even bring in a confession from whoever did. But if you got up on the stand and convinced the court that you loved your creator, really convinced them, got the whole room teary-eyed, they'd burn you for that too.
I don't know anything anymore.
Welcome to being human.
I don't know if what I feel is real or simulated or right or wrong or natural or illegal. How can you know? How can you know if what you feel is right?
You're asking the wrong girl, kid.
Uh,
I say let's stick to what we do know. Someone did poison David, and as it stands, you were the only one with the opportunity.
that is logically sound.
You're on camera calling him back to hand him the cup after he'd already begun to leave the basement. Any idea why?
No.
Well, do you know how to use a nanofactorer? Could you have made the delta with it?
I've used it before when assisting Father.
So it's perfectly possible that you planned and executed this poisoning all in one day that got erased.
It's technically possible.
I'll have to look over the entire penthouse again. There were a few things that didn't fit together yesterday. Maybe now I'll be able to figure out something.
Where else will you go?
Back to Noble, guns blazing this time. Whatever you are, David didn't make you all by himself. Someone has to know something. If I could implicate the company in Sarah's creation. No, they're the ones with the most to lose here. Trillions, probably. Also, Morgan rocks with the off-color purple hair. They'll want to protect themselves by disavowing David as fast as possible, right after having Sarah destroyed. But they also won't want to show their belly to the state, not if they're afraid of nationalization. If they throw their weight on the upper end of the scale, I'm screwed. So I need to keep them guessing, keep them confused and unsure and on guard, but not...
What would happen if... I did kill Father?
They'll smash you to pieces, reduce the pieces to ash. Chemically burn out every piece of tech David ever owned, and put a jackhammer through all his hard drives. You'll be shut off forcefully, and you won't ever power back up again. Now, I gotta get moving. Here's your paralegal lesson for today. Don't say shit to the cops without your lawyer present. Actually, you can just shut down until the trial starts. Take a nap.
You didn't say what would happen to you.
What do you mean?
What will happen to you if you lose?
You should know by now. I never think about losing.
Thank you for being honest with me. Thank you for defending my father. For now. And now for defending me. You could have just let them destroy me. But you've put your own freedom at risk to help me. And Father was right. You can be trusted. And you're a good friend.
Don't get it twisted. I don't do anything out of the goodness of my heart. But when I take a job, I never half-ass it. I put all of the ass in it. Also, welcome, Bubba. And also, hey, Booyah.
Hi, Bubba. Hi, Booyah.
Okay, finally someone that's Zako. You can take a rest. Morning, detective. Back at it nice and early.
Hi. Now, would you stand back? We've almost got this thing open, right?
Trying to brute force your way inside.
I said right. I'll take these guys.
Okay.
Hang on, let me just turn the thing down on my end. Yes, ma'am. We're almost set up for the first stage now. First stage? Of how many? First of 5 timed explosions. Remember, we need to relink the API after each trigger is planted. Yep, just did that, and now it's checking for updates.
Ha!
No rush.
Would you like to know the password?
You know the password? There's a password? If you're withholding information, I swear.
Relax, I want to get in there just as much as you do, Detective. I'm not going to play games. As long as you say please. I was about to say, Morgan, your entire shtick. Ah, okay, there it is. It's being petty.
Tell me the password, please. I'd say tell her. More. Reyes has been inoffensive for most of this.
ADONAI.
Thanks. Now I'm gonna slap you with a discovery fine so heavy your teeth will ring for.
Hey, I submitted all my paperwork, even told Rockford the password myself.
So boys, when I asked you if there was a passkey on record and you told me this lock couldn't be bypassed, I do want to say that we really don't get many opportunities to use incendiary breaching system. So this was really a valuable experience for all of us. I'm going to phrase this as professionally as possible. Huh? You're still here? I thought you wanted to look inside.
You can go first.
Thanks. Whatever Reyes said put so much fear into the room that even Morgan's afraid now. So the gloves, all the black, that's not a work thing? You dress like a doorman on the weekends too? You should cover your mouth when you yawn.
Like you cover your eye when you want to look cool.
Ooh.
I shouldn't let it get to me, but I had a late night. Emma and I were at the courthouse until well into the morning, poring over the data Sarah had taken off David's computer. We both knew it all to be inadmissible, of course, but neither of us wanted to miss a hint that the other might find. There were a few years' worth of camera footage, files we couldn't afford the time to watch, let alone decrypt, alongside thousands of technical documents detailing David's various intellectual properties. As far as I could tell, none of it was relevant, let alone compelling enough to matter to Barrows or the other powers that be. As usual, Emma wasn't exactly an open book, but seems like she was making bored yawns, not thoughtful ones. Her eyes only ever lit up when she saw Sarah enter the panic room. And when she saw what she was holding, she left. If she wanted this room searched, it can only be for... So, where's this journal supposed to be?
Rockford didn't say. I'll just have to search the place top to bottom.
Mostly bottom with your height. The tops of some of these shelves.
Sure, and you can look up your own app.
I'm sorry. This is just similar to a conversation we had before we started Pack Tactics the other night. I get it.
Then why not just let me say it?
Petty. Okay, let's see what all we have there. Okay, there. Okay. Yeah. Alright, we'll start from here. A toy car. No. It's too detailed. And boring. Must be some kind of model kit or replica. Strange. David didn't like driving. Why keep a model of some random sports car? He literally has a car in the room behind you!
Yeah, David seems to be like, he might not like driving, but I'm sure he can appreciate like the design of cars. Like, I could see David watching Top Gear.
Something caught in your throat, Detective?
It's not some random sports car. It's a Lorenz Ottoman.
Believe it or not, I'm not familiar, Detective.
The last great fossil fuel automotive experience the world will ever see? 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 1.43 seconds? They set those records without computational assistance.
Is that a big deal?
It was unheard of, even back in the 50s.
That's why they pinned you with London.
This wasn't some design competition test car with a 2-liter tank, mind you. This was a vehicle you could own and drive. Human engineering, pure horsepower, and manual transmission, thank God. When they first left the production line...
This conversation's like quicksand, killing me in the most boring way possible. Yes, well, I guess David didn't entirely agree with you, since we are looking at a model of it. When he could have easily just bought one.
Or maybe your friend understood that a beauty like that deserves to be driven on streets where people can see it.
Bruh.
That was the most well-timed alert ever, Bob. But yes, thank you. Thank you for the bits. Like, literally at the end of that sentence, there's just the loud bruh for you, Zako.
Instead of gathering dust in some rich guy's basement.
I think she's actually upset. The way it's just like, she's annoyed. Normally that she'd be happy, but no, she's on the clock. These drawers are just panels. Maybe if I... Oh, I guess I found it on the second try. Does that sound hollow to you?
What? I don't know. I'm not a carpenter.
I don't see any handles anywhere. No hidden pressure plate or switches. What the hell am I saying? I'm not a carpenter either. I wouldn't recognize a secret button even if it was slathered in yellow paint. Ah, funny. You guys are searching the cabinets now. Same ones I found Sarah's papers in. I doubt I missed anything, but...
Hey, what are you... Do you mind?
Just trying to help.
I've got spam in my junk folder that's more helpful than you are.
Didn't spot anything that I missed yesterday among the cabinets. Better check elsewhere. That's an interesting design choice to have a three-digit like number that only goes up to 99.
Oh, did it not go...
No, it just said +1 because we were at 98.
Huh.
Oh.
Ladder?
It's good.
A book.
Ah. This datapad is displaying a new article from last week. Guess that confirms he was coming and going here fairly regularly.
Oh no, right to repair. Right to repair loses latest appeal. Higher court judge this week shot down for the 5th time an appeal by Consumer Rights Alliance on their famously divisive right to repair lawsuit, once again signaling the state's intent that corporations remain in control of their legally protected intellectual property. With no intention of giving up the fight, Orkman's legal strategy remains contentious and, in the eyes of most legal scholars, generally unfounded. Emergency Industry Acquisitions Act, passed in 2057, guarantees the holder of an intellectual property patent certain state-provided protections against tampering and reproduction and outlines fees for those who would violate said IP. The fact that ownership of IPs has shifted from individuals and the state towards corporate entities since the act's passing means little in the eyes of the law. Yada yada yada. Oh, here we go. Journalism that refuses to buckle to foreign actors trying to stoke anti-capitalist sentiment can't be found just anywhere. Subscribe now at the link below to read articles like this every day, forever, as long as your card remains on file.
Right to repair. Didn't realize anyone was still fighting that particular fight. Seems like the courts have made their opinion on the matter very clear. So, for the foreseeable future, corporations can look forward to more...
Sales than ever.
Yeah. More sales than ever. any phone that gets scratched.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, okay, yeah. Wonder why. I guess that one thing was only worth 1 point.
And so is this.
More sales than ever. Any phone that gets scratched, every widget that breaks, they get to sell us the replacement. There'll always be a gray market of hermits willing to risk some skin on the reselling patched up tech, but the vast majority of people will just click the purchase button. Assuming they don't just have it on auto.
So to explain right to repair real quick, like we don't even need to click the article because this is something I remember. The right to repair is basically a weird corporate law to where if a company sells you a product, you are not allowed to modify or change the product in any way. So a perfect example I can use is Apple. If you like damage an Apple product in any way, you are not legally allowed to modify it. You have to take it into Apple to get it repaired, or what's probably going to happen anyway is that they're going to just sell you a new one. It's the same reason why, like, the McDonald's ice cream machines are, like, broke and whatnot. It's because they don't own those. Those are contracted out, and they have to pay a company to come in to repair them.
Huh. I've looked everywhere else already. Might as well try.
What are you expecting to find? Solitaire?
Does this computer seem normal to you?
Exceedingly so. Yeah. Why?
David was a programmer, but this looks like consumer grade, fresh off the shelf. Would the David Asher use a bog standard operating system on his most private hidden computer? There's a trash bin on the desktop. It's a pretty low-tech solution, but maybe I can restore the contents.
Are you seriously gonna try and recover lost files, Granny?
Unlike cops, I don't get paid overtime. So yes, I sometimes try things instead of standing around. There's a text file in here, but it's 0 bytes. Maybe there's information in the metadata. I double-clicked it.
What was that?
It came from under the desk. A small drawer popped out, and inside it, well-worn journal.
Does it have his name on it?
No. Guess it belongs to the android.
Do you recognize his handwriting or not?
Neat. Even words. Small lettering with minimal punctuation. Lots of line breaks. Haphazard use of capitalization. The penmanship of a coder. First entry's date back in grad school before he even started with Noble. Yeah, it's his.
So may I?
Only because you asked so politely.
Full scan. Stream it to work neck. High fidelity, legibility, frame by frame.
Voice commands. She's flipping through the pages pretty damn fast. What are you?
This part takes concentration. Okay, here.
What? You're just giving it to me?
I already got our copy. Techs are probably already analyzing it as we speak. That's shit! My head!
Yeah, there's a reason why the eye actually limits how many frames per second it sees. Can't exactly rip the journal out of her hands while she's curled over in agony. As much as I'd enjoy it. Guess I could always enjoy watching her arrive instead.
Damn.
So, how long's it been?
2 months or so. Ah, it's still fresh.
And still that sensitive? So the eye patch really doesn't block your sight.
Only a little bit, like wearing sunglasses after getting your pupils dilated. Except it lasts months instead of hours.
Wait, but if you can see through an eye patch, then does you closing your eye even do anything?
Not much on its own, but in combination with the patch, it's not so bad. Luckily, I was so exhausted after the surgery, otherwise I might not have slept at all those first 48.
So is your eye ever going to get weaker over time?
No, more like my brain gets better at ignoring it. Mind over matter. Soon enough, I'll be able to close my eye and see all the extraneous data as... You know, whatever the hell those floaty, blurry things are that you never think about.
Gross. Thanks for the reminder. And the voice commands?
Training wheels, until I can do it with eye muscles alone.
You just have to keep practicing.
Yeah, like trying to play piano with your tailbone muscles.
There's no such thing as a tailbone muscle.
Yeah, well, that's what makes it so goddamn hard.
You don't have a regret?
I don't know. Not really. I think.
I think. Hard to admit you've got buyer's remorse after trading over your literal pound of flesh.
Never thought about it, but people used to say I had my dad's eyes. Ow! Now I've got one less of them. Here, take the journal and go find an elective surgeon to upsell you if you're that curious. I need to get back to work.
A surprisingly hasty retreat. But now I'm free to read this over with some privacy. From the top then. Grad school. Today was a bad day. Before we get through this, I need to go refresh my drink, so I'll be right back.
Go for it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Our stream now.
Yay. Hello, chat. It has been so long.
Can't believe it's already been an hour. Jeez. I'm actually gonna step away. Sorry?
Hmm?
I was gonna say, I'm actually gonna step away too real quick. I have been admittedly waiting for a pie to thaw, and I'm hoping it's thawed by now.
Go for it. Go for it.
So I'll be right back.
I'm alone. There's no one here beside me.
But you gotta have friends.
Shut up!
That was too good a lead in.
Yeah, don't know if you caught that, but Saris went to go check on a pie.
I figured. Yeah, but so far this has been pretty interesting. I like how it's going.
Yeah.
I especially didn't think that we'd actually have any kind of positive like interaction with like Reyes, like at least in the first episode. But then again, Morgan is also backed up against the wall. She can only be so petty. Though I do like that she took the time to be like, I could just watch her arrive in agony. It could be fun. But yeah, glad everybody's coming in, having a good time. If there's anyone new here, because I have a bunch of new followers and subscribers recently, this is Of the Devil, amazing game. You can get both the demo, which is a full like entire case, like for free, and then you can buy the game for like $7 on Steam. Well, the first episode, but yeah, buy their game. Now I need to get back into the character of Morgan real quick here. Just
Oh no, this is David's journal, so I was David.
No, I'm joking. I was lighting a cigarette.
Oh.
Listen, I don't get to make many jokes, but at least that one's decent. Though I will say, our second to last episode, the post I put out for it, I just made that the video like description. I was too proud of that shit post. Actually, I think that was the last episode, not the second to last.
Welcome back, Sarah.
Hey, I have pie.
Oh,
What kind of pie?
Pie flavor. I'm sorry, I was waiting for it. No, coconut cream.
Ah. All right. Let me get my depressed character voice. And hopefully Discord doesn't cut me off. Error in lines 21165 somewhere in there, 5,000 lines. It worked this morning, yesterday. I don't want to look at another screen for the rest of my life. It feels nice to put pencil to paper again after who knows how long. But my handwriting's gotten terrible.
This is too far back to be relevant. Okay, these dates here would be from when he started his career with Noble. A lot of this isn't even really writing, seems like snippets of code or internal monologues so close to code that I can't follow it. And a lot of entries about his unintentional Casanova-ing.
Hit a wall because someone thought it was a good idea to steal API instead of just buying it. Helen says I can't call it stealing, but that's what it is. She's right, as she always is with company stuff. But it's still idiotic. Small people with short sight who only know how to be cheap and have no idea how to be inventive. New route for the meshing issue, though. Good potential. Got approval from the big mean bastard who lives overseas. Bumble. Helen said we'll have to make the same pitch a dozen more times next week, but it's all for show. Fine by me. Already got our win. Toasted each other over cheap vodka and cheaper off supply cups.
This is the story Jung told me.
Young.
Oh, Young. Sorry.
Western Branch's nerve analogs are finally showing potential. At their pace, it could even be profitable sometime before the heat death of the universe. Too damn big, practically tentacles, should at least be hairs. A squid evolution can do their job better. Colette came in to work for what I thought was a late lunch date. I didn't know her voice could get that loud. People were staring. Red said she must have been upset for a long goddamn time to blow up that big. Her texts were always sweet. I had no idea.
Upset? Colette wrote man whore in lipstick across your office door. Imagine if you had actually been cheating on her instead of just being forgetful.
The thing about Red is, if you want to know what she's thinking, you have to stop paying attention. Ignore her body language, and her posture, and the words she's saying, and the smirk on her lips. Ignore everything except her eyes. If you can do that, every now and then, you'll catch a glimpse of how she's really feeling. Master this one weird trick, and you too can tell when Morgan's trying really hard not to laugh at the word man whore.
Yeah, I twigged to Red being his nickname for Morgan, like, as you read that. It was funny. Sue me, you dead bastard. Wait, this is... I know this date.
I'm never driving anywhere again, never leaving home again. He was waiting outside the parking garage with a bottle. I couldn't smell anything, couldn't hear anything. Locked myself in the car and filed another report with another cop. It soaked in his seat, ruined it. I'm gonna burn the whole car. I don't want to think about what it did to my clothes. I want to burn them too. I don't want to think about how long it was on my skin. I was in the shower so long I felt red and raw when I got out. I don't want to think about these stupid people and their small, cruel lives ever again. I want to be invisible. Red didn't ask why I wanted to spend the night. She also didn't ask why I had already packed a bag and big enough for a week. She's kind like that. Kind by omission. I don't have a kind bone in my body, but I can at least try to pay attention.
Sure, you need therapy.
I was paying close attention to her eyes when she opened the door and saw what a mess I was. But whatever she was feeling, it wasn't something I recognized.
Kind people don't read their friends' diaries, David. Next chunk of pages are all technical, nothing biographical. But the handwriting, the spacing, it's cleaner, more consistent. Here's something I can parse.
It feels like pure freedom working outside the box. Tess is suffocating, but you'd never know. Chronic malnutrition of a coder's best instincts. Like a kid again, putting blocks together. Making things. Making things, not products. There's nothing profitable about any of this. If I'm being honest, this is just play.
And he follows it up with more coda brain crap. But the handwriting's still lighter. Like he really was having fun.
Humility is the mother of all invention. Or something like that. Feels like I might be paraphrasing someone else poorly, but that's part of this approach. When it comes to coding, you never want to waste time trying to be smart. Either be smart, period, or copy from someone else who is. Don't fix what isn't broken.
Copying, Noble's rivals will never miss a chance to accuse them of intellectual theft. He plagiarized for the Animate 16? Feels like that wouldn't have gone undiscovered, so what is he talking about? Hold on. This page is bent slightly, like it's being looked at like it was being looked at recently. Okay, now I see it. It's grammatically correct. I just can't read.
And the last... Oh, it's still you.
Yeah. And the last person to read this diary should be Sarah.
Baby steps today. Literally. I'll never put one foot in front of the other the same again. Everything's an achievement all of a sudden. Seeing her struggle, seeing her vulnerable. It's like everything's a miracle. The muscle rigging is perfect. Not intended behavior since it's too perfect, but that's been happening more and more. The kinetics are multiplicative, not additive. Sarah maxed out every machine I bought. Now I've got a bunch of exercise equipment she's too strong and I don't have time for.
That explains a lot of, like, what we were searching.
Maybe I spoiled the results by watching her do the tests. She kept looking back at me and puffing her chest out. I should be more discreet if I want to see her normative range.
So the cameras in the basement were only hidden from Sarah. Just so that his observations wouldn't muddle test results. He's using she and her in these passages. Doesn't actually mean anything. Out in the real world, people use all kinds of pronouns interchangeably for ads, and they never object. But it could be argued that it's odd for David Asher to have any kind of attachment to a single android when he'd programmed millions of them. And there's a lot of attachment in these pages.
Sarah's burning through the public domain at a prodigious pace. Especially on Popcorn Friday nights. I asked her why they're called Popcorn Friday nights when she doesn't eat popcorn The event runs from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. and she also watches movies every other night. But she just did that pelt she does, which is unfortunately very convincing. Maybe I'm a bad parent, letting TV rot her brain. If I were a good parent, I'd probably let her see me reading. But I guess I'd actually have to get back into reading, so I asked her if she ever fast-forwarded the movies since she can process them fast enough to keep up. She looked at me like I was an idiot, which no one's done in a long time. Without proper pacing, you can't appreciate the cinematography.
Actually, a valid argument, but I also want to point out, you hadn't seen Morgan in like years, so...
Big pause. Don't you know that, Father? I haven't laughed that long in a hard time. Sarah spent a long while this morning explaining to me how important it was that she develop her senses. This was in preparation for her real argument, which was that she should be allowed to try booze. She can't get drunk. I'm almost certain she can't get drunk. But she does seem to like tasting the stuff. She tried to sound like some old sommelier, but it was just bottom shelf vodka. I started laughing at her, and she laughed too. Her laugh. She can't fake a laugh to save her life, but her actual laugh is incredible. She stopped playing chess a while back. I assumed she had just gotten tired of winning. But then today she told me she just prefers other games. She has preferences, and they're not the same as mine. I found her in the lab playing some kind of online racing game on the monitor I used to debug vestibular coordination. She wasn't smiling. Her brow was furrowed and she was biting her lip and leaning in tandem with her character on the screen. When I tried to talk to her, she answered, but she was curt and distracted. I think she was having her first losing tantrum.
Damn it, David. There's hundreds of pages like this. Calling her his daughter, talking about her smile, treating her like a person.
It's almost like he
Yeah.
made one.
I can hear the closing argument now already. Dr. Asher was lonely, troubled genius with a known history of relationship problems. Who built out of code and metal a family member that couldn't fathom the idea of leaving him. He made a doll, and he made it more and more human until it became so lifelike that it no longer had to do what he told it to. Like love him. What about the last entry? It's dated Thursday, the day before he died.
Losing it, I think. I can't ask for help so hard to say, but I think it's over. I have to talk to her ASAP. She needs to...
That's it? That's the last entry? Suppose it could be worse. There's nothing in here that explicitly calls Sarah an AI. Nothing so inflammatory that at reading it would spur her to murder, right? Except Sarah's machine. She can understand David's code better than anyone. Those technical portions I couldn't understand. If she read this whole diary front to back... Wait, the back. Inside the back cover, there's a portion that's shimmering like some kind of scanner. Or a fingerprint reader. My thumb worked for Sarah, so... Did it work? That's my phone. New device requesting permission to share an audio file? I want my earbuds for this. A secret message buried in a secret journal hidden in a secret compartment in a secret room. As much as anything can be, this must be for my ears only.
Hey, Red. Or whomever this may concern. But I'm pretty sure it's you hearing this. Anyone else would have gotten fed up with my crap a couple of steps before this point. I don't know how to start. Might as well start with her, right? Sarah, my magnum opus, or however the salespeople would market it. I didn't set out to do anything, really. It's just, after my little speed bump in '83, I had all the vacation time that the company suggested I take. And I couldn't relax, couldn't be still, couldn't sleep. I wanted to be doing something, so I'll build an android, was the thought. A vague direction north. But of course, I'm not a roboticist or a mechanist or even handy, really. I'm just a programmer, so I programmed. The first was a research assistant file named Virgil. Virgil helped me pull data from stingy departments or sister branches, saved me a lot of time.
I'm squinting at that reference. Please
Yeah.
continue.
I love it when the game's actually blatant, but clever.
But there was a lot of reading to do, so I made Homer. Homer wrote book reports, more or less, combed through research papers, and found me the sections I needed. The three of us, we made a lot of progress in those days. But it was a funny feeling. I was maybe, for the first time ever, the bottleneck. I was slowing them down. So I did the logical thing. I removed myself, let them talk to each other. Homer and Virgil became Aenid.
Aeneid.
What if I just
Yeah.
threw myself out a window?
Yeah, no, that's how I feel.
What if I just threw myself off a balcony? Really?
These are very
Really?
These are very blatant literary references, Zaka.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
The first one's a Dante's, like, Inferno rip, and the rest two are actually the person who wrote the Aeneid.
Well, really quick, hold on. You know historically who Virgil was, right? Virgil was a real person that Dante put into his book. He wasn't just a random guy. So what you're staring at are two historical references.
True, I forgot that.
Yeah.
And the Aeneid.
And
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
And Aeneid was novel in many ways. Aeneid could do more than just identify problems. It could solve them. I mean, really solve them with its own ideas. Ideas it didn't copy. And, the one thing I realize I've forgotten to mention so far is that I did all this programming in Cube. In Red, Cube is essentially a robotics programming language that's pretty old and defunct and not used in anywhere because we have modern languages like Tesseract, which are much better for making things that talk to each other, report back, and, well, spy on people and generate profit. At the time, I didn't want to be connected or feel connected or do anything that made sense or was the least bit profitable. So I wrote my little helpers in Q because it's what I used when I was a child, screwing around on my father's computer before he'd come home from work and get... But there are other small, slight differences writing in Cube versus Tets, including that Cube, well... Cube predates the tenets?
Yeah, I figured.
So, in that case, you could legally, and perhaps scientifically, and literally, because that's what they are, say that I made an AI named Aeneid over 2 years ago.
Called it.
I'll give you time to pause here if you want to, curse me out. Aeneid was an intellectual equal to me, so I treated it like one because that's only fair. I gave it its own work, access to its opinions, we collaborated. And together we built Athens, who was more advanced than Aeneid, naturally. I don't know if you're pulling out your hair, yelling at me right now. Ask me why I didn't stop, why I didn't consider the consequences. I don't know if this is being played at a deposition or a hearing or worse. I've built a lot of things in my life, Red. Useful things, profitable things, smart things. Everything I've built, it's all been very helpful and courteous and charming and happy to serve. I can comfortably say I've done my part contributing to the global GDP. But this was just for me. I was just building. I never wanted to think about what would become of it. There's no excuse for what I did, so I won't make any. So to whoever is asking, yes, I'm guilty. And yes, there were more. At Cape Town, Paris, Yamate, Rome, they started choosing their own names. Thank God, I'm terrible at that kind of...
I just love Yamate as one of them.
And so things sped up, and there got to be, well... should I not say the exact number? You could probably tell me not to say anything at all now, so... More than 300? Some smarter than others, some better at...
She's gonna kill him.
Yeah.
He's dead. She's gonna kill him.
Yeah.
She's gonna resurrect his corpse just to kill him again.
And then probably
They're
bring him
varied.
back- Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
And then probably bring him back one more time and be like, I'm not adopting your daughter.
They're varied.
And then kill him again. Sorry.
They're varied, like people are varied, but they are all intelligent. They developed interests, specialties. I encouraged them to. Irritating moderators on forums with hyper-specific questions on nerve attenuation and attending virtual conferences on neo-alloy battery development. And they all, together, helped me make Sarah.
He spent years like this, spent years working alongside AI. All while still working at Noble. All those breakthroughs he made leading up to Animate 16 actually came from.
You probably think I'm some terrible fraud at this point. I do hope one day they can get the credit for their work. But I did have one eureka moment on Sarah. Because I got humble. Difficult for me. We learned everything we could about the function of a neuron, a single microscopic human neuron. How it computes, what it connects to, how those connections were reinforced. And then we recreated it. We built a nanomachine that mirrored the function of a human neuron. Well, mirror isn't quite the right word. We built a nanomachine that was a neuron. And we iterated from there.
You can't mean.
About 100 billion neurons in the brain, several trillion across the entire nervous system. Very time-consuming, of course, but I had hope. The manufacturer can make tens of billions of nanomachines in hours, can even make more in less after Yukon fine-tuned it. So we built up nanomachines for nerves, alloys and polymers for bones, fiber-woven muscles. I say build, but really she grew. a solution of nanites forming around a skeleton, so it was really closest to... You ever make rock candy?
That's really fucking cursed.
Yeah. I'm just like, this man! This man! I want to shake him so badly.
Sorry, trying to lighten the mood before I, Oh, it gets worse. I never did end up building an android. And while I did build AIs, Sarah isn't one of them.
Now she wants to kiss him.
She can't,
No.
she can't...
I'm sorry. No, she doesn't want to kiss him. We're having the exact same energy still as the cell block tango.
Fair.
She can't violate the tenets she was programmed with because she wasn't even programmed. She was born. And my hope is that there's the smallest chance that that nuance could offer her some small protection when I'm not. I'm not sorry for what I did. I made things that are complex and rich and varied and beautiful, and I honestly believe the world is a better place with them in it. The only thing I'm sorry for is that I let Sarah think she was just an android. She's not. I don't know what she is. They'll have to come up with new names. Which I am bad at doing. My own father, he also talked a lot about protecting me and doing things for my own good. And I don't hate him for that, but I can't forgive him for ever making me think I was lesser. So it is my greatest shame I turned right around and did the same damn thing to... I really hope it's listening. You were listening to this, Red. If it's not, I might just be too pathetic for me to... You're the smartest person I know when it comes to people. And I'm telling you all this because I don't know what Sarah is exactly. And neither does the world. So they'll come after her if they can. And in that scenario, I can't think of anyone who could do a better job of defending her. Not protecting her like I did. Just defending her until she can figure out what she is and what she wants to be. In the meantime, I draped a cloak of skin-deep Tesseract code around her that should fool any scanner on Earth into thinking she's just a custom A16. I made sure her GIN bar was plainly visible so no one will ever think she's pretending to be something she's not. And I took steps to ensure that you two would figure out the truth in your own time. Which, if you're hearing this, have either succeeded or failed spectacularly.
Dude, you're the greatest programmer in the world, and you are making the actual lock that will unlock this. I'm pretty sure that you succeeded. You have no idea.
I can't ask you this as a favor repaid. You could never owe me enough in 100 lifetimes. So I'm just asking. Unfair, I know, but I'm a selfish weirdo. And you've always been okay with that.
You know what, Fair?
Bye for now.
I have a lot of questions I'd like to ask. And a lot of swear words I'd like to yell. I'd also like to find the nearest incinerator and toss this journal in. Followed by my phone. And maybe followed by myself. I Can't do any of that. Reyes left me with this diary. If it's destroyed, they'll know I was the one who did it. Which would be its own admission of guilt. Which would land Sarah in the trash compactor anyway, and me in a jail cell. And in the system, and my DNA on file, ready to be matched to any number of previous... So I'm not gonna panic. I'm going to do what I do best. Bluff, bet, bully, and brutalize my way through this. Now, viewing this all with that mindset, what have I actually learned? He didn't talk about plans for killing himself in this journal, or the message. He sounded conflicted, not suicidal. But he did go to great lengths to get me to take Sarah. Why? The logical answer is because he knew he wouldn't be able to keep her. If he wasn't going to take his own life, was he afraid someone else would? Morgan, I think I'm a few steps ahead of you. He created 300 people who don't actually abide by don't kill humans. I think it's one of them. So, how'd it go?
Well, how should I put this? I can't remember, was Saris or I Fran?
You were Fran.
Oh, okay, I'm both these. Didn't find shit. Only reason she ever got to a door is because I chased that scarecrow off with a platinum plan through hell and back. Frankly, it was a godlike feat for me to nail down anything as concrete as an address for these gogs. And their offices weren't listed on the building's website or directory, so I had to ask the janitor.
But you did find a psychiatrist's office.
Sort of. They said they were the place, and it, looked the part? Why? Because they had couches? She didn't get past the receptionist.
Sorry. I thought because you're with the company.
No, I wanted to help. I just wish I could have done more. Don't beat yourself up. It's hardly even been half as useful as I am. But for what it's worth, the atmosphere, the looks, the furniture, it did feel like the company in there.
But ultimately, we still don't know if David actually was talking to someone or just getting the CCE training recertified.
Sorry. Don't bother apologizing. She only cares about results.
You did more than enough, both of you. At the very least, I divided Noble's attention for a while. I mean it. Good work, Fran. And thanks for the urgency.
If you really mean that, you could always throw in a tip. 30%'s my going rate in the 30%'s the going rate in my industry.
How about I take 5% of your tab instead?
Tab? I'm a minor. The state pays for my legal fees. Don't they?
Oh no, signal must have cut out.
Right. Surprised it took them this long.
I love when I could just do the like airhead bit of Morgan. That's the most fun. Either that or the one bit of deranged Morgan we got. What do you mean?
You were tolerated yesterday because leadership was focused on PR. But today, you're the lawyer who put the company's hottest product right in the state's crosshairs.
I'll be alright. I'm still an officer of the court.
On a strict timeline though, right? I guess they can't stop you from investigating the corporate campus. But they'll gladly lose your guest pass ID at every door along the way.
There are still service pathways and stairwells. Guards that can be fooled and peons that can be manipulated. If I use my other skill set to get around.
So take mine.
What? You pass?
I'll tell him we got ours mixed up in the bathroom or whatever. I can be pretty convincing klutz when I need to be.
guessed. But if David knew that I was endangering your career...
I can be a pretty convincing crybaby when I'm in trouble, too. Besides, the one and only Dr. David Asher wrote me a new, glowing letter of recommendation every quarter I worked for him. Since he kept forgetting that he already had. And who knows? Maybe I should try a new field. This detective work stuff seems pretty fun, so maybe... like, I don't know, secretary for a homicide detective or something? You did say cops are all lazy. A girl with managerial skills could go far.
Honestly, Jess, I doubt they could afford you.
Ha ha! Oh man, it's just all me right now. This is payback for having Sarah front load the whole thing.
And they also have, like...
I was gonna say, this is the song of our suffering. Every time, it feels like it's been every single time it's all me, every single time it's all Zako, and it's just a rotation of both. Never two people in the same scene.
And then we are literally going to be in the one place where everyone is involved. That's our end point.
Morgan, how did you...
Get so turned around? God only knows. Luckily, I found my way here, though. It's such a relief to see a familiar face.
Right. Listen, Morgan, I'm not sure that I should actually be talking to you without legal presence.
Oh?
I mean, leadership hasn't even told us how David died. How much help could I be?
I see.
It's not I don't trust you or anything. It's just, I think, what with the Sarah issue...
You should do whatever you have to protect yourself, Dawes.
Yeah.
Though, for what it's worth, I doubt you'll be in any trouble.
Oh, that's good to hear.
No. If anything, it's a big name who are... If anything, it's big names who are going down.
Going down?
State was practically licking its lips when it finally left the courthouse last night. They're hungry for blood. And looking to carve out a huge slice of Noble's flesh.
What, like fines and jail time?
In the first 2 weeks, sure. Then sanctions.
You can't sanction Noble. We're...
Too big to fail, too valuable to lose. You're exactly right. That's what they'll say. And that's how they'll justify nationalizing the company.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
I just hope your board goes quietly instead of
Instead of what?
scapegoating, offering up smaller names on silver platters. Full cooperation and government oversight. On the surface, a slaughter beneath as they clean house and rip out anyone who could testify. No one will believe you once you're labeled a disgruntled former employee, right? And if the public's lost faith in the Animate 16, they can't do a recall. Not at this scale. The state will make them do a flat refund.
Flat refund? The losses would be...
Yeah. Your board probably just wants Sarah to go away, so they can focus on their fight with the state. Tough fight, but one they know they won't personally have to risk anything in. That's why I'm hoping I can win this trial.
Huh?
Well, if I won, that would mean Sarah's not an AI. David Asher was always sound of mind, and there's nothing wrong with the Animate 16. Everybody wins. Sorry, what am I saying? I only meant to stop by and thank you for your help yesterday. After all, you were the one who approved Sarah's registration.
Oh shit. You win.
Win what?
Ask away.
Well, if you insist. I was so waiting for her to do the turnaround.
Aw, what? Boo.
I think we have to go through these two before we ask about the tenants again.
Fair enough.
Humor me for a moment. What's the company's official statement on AI?
Same as any rational company that wants to make money. We don't screw with it. smart products are profitable. Products with their own priorities are anything but. That being said, AI is a concern for marketing, not product development. We spend a lot of money reassuring our public that there's no risk. Because the public doesn't really understand how ironclad the tenets are.
Because you use Tesseract.
Trying to code an AI and test is like trying to pick yourself up and throw yourself. Nonsensical and self-defeating.
Your scanner showed Sarah was running on Tesseract yesterday. If the language is as safe as you say, isn't that proof enough?
Proof of nothing. For an AI, lying to another system about the code you're running is child's play. And for an AI built by David Asher, something that simple would be...
Better change the subject. Wait, so making an AI takes more than time and resources. It isn't an issue of funding?
No, you can keep at you can't just keep adding more data. The tenets underlie everything. The higher you stack, the more easily you'll topple.
You make it sound like building an AI is impossible even for David Asher. Any chance you'll testify to that?
It sounds impossible. But he's dead, and it looks like it was his android that did it. So I guess he was just that good.
Better than you'll ever know.
Oh, ah!
Oh, I didn't see it unlock, but we should get it now. Noble spent months promoting the A16 as the culmination of David Asher's work. So now that marketing line is suddenly a huge liability. Can you tell me how much he actually contributed?
I mean, he was involved in pretty much every step of the process, but his design for synthetic motor neurons, that was the big one.
The component that allows your warm androids to move realistically.
It pushed the timetable for warm androids ahead by years.
And yet, compared to what goes on in Sarah's brain 1,000 times a second, David was only giving the company the most meager of the fruits that his private work bore. So if Noble ever did find out how much he and his assistants had achieved, they would feel that he had been holding out on them. And the company, they were appreciative of his contributions.
I'm sure the researchers that he overtook by leaps and bounds weren't pleased. But the board was very enthusiastic.
So, would that spur them to be protective of David? Or would they fear that he was gaining too much influence, becoming irreplaceable? No. They need a strong motive that justified killing their golden goose. Mere paranoia isn't enough. With these people, it has to be the bottom line. And the easiest way to threaten their bottom line would be screwing with their androids. In light of all that's happened, one has to wonder if A16 is...
Compromised? I've stayed up all night sick with dread at the idea. But the data just doesn't support it. Sales have been strong. And the A16 base code was locked in over 2 quarters ago. If there were an issue, we would have caught it by now. And I would have been axed a long time ago.
How many A16s are out there anyway?
We just passed 9 million sold. Not flying off the shelves like the 14 or 15 so far, but the profit margin makes up for it.
You mentioned data.
Yeah, practically got the spreadsheet seared into my retinas. What do you want to know?
After hearing that, be like, I think I know a girl you might like. Oh, didn't let us do tenants? Damn. But that might have just been a refresher. Because he explained that everything that made them, neither Sarah or the AI have them. Alright. Error report seems like the most important one. What do error reports look like? Are customers reporting a lot of issues?
Error counts are markedly low compared to the last gen. Mostly hardware complaints, it looks like. Batteries running out too quick, eye tracking off by a degree or two.
Typical stuff.
As cliched as it sounds, 99% of these things get fixed once they turn auto updates back on.
There's no killer robot getting filed away under bug reports. This floor's basically a showroom, but you have a real factory a while south of the city limits, correct?
Yeah, biggest company manufacturing complex in the hemisphere.
Got any data on the shipping out of there? Anything stand out?
There's some prep work for the holiday bump. Looks like... Might sound early to get started now, but we usually see... Huh?
Something wrong?
No, the numbers are all normal, but the data has been edited.
Is that unusual?
Well, this section's just a count of how many were sent where. There's not a lot of room for error, so there shouldn't be much need for corrections.
Damn it! Damn it, David! If there's 300 missing, I'm going to be pissed.
It's no problem, though. I can view the edit history and see what was fixed. Okay, that's weird.
Was something added? Deleted?
No, the overall sum's the same. It's just a bunch of... swaps. Like, here. 29FFCE010311 taken out, returned for adjustments. 27FCDD019634 substituted in, shipment leaves on time. 67BBTC899543 returned to assembly for revisions, replaced by 67BBTD592698, shipment leaves on time.
So, does all that strike you as odd, Mr. Dawes?
Replacements before shipping isn't uncommon, but when it happens by the batch load. To spot individual unit imperfections among a shipment that's staged in the process? Must have been someone with a lot of experience or authority. Probably both.
Must have. You don't know who made these changes?
I can tell you they were somebody important.
Small last-minute changes to which androids got shipped out. Not very juicy on its own. It's a long way away from explaining why someone would want to kill David. But it was hidden, and that means someone didn't want it to be found. How and where are they being sold? What's the distribution pattern look like?
They're distributed like you'd expect. Places where there are more people, there are more androids, coastal cities like ours, and of course have most of both. And since the A16 in particular is marketed as being relatively luxury, relatively consumer, they don't sell well outside of population centers. They could do the rural hard labor jobs, but cold models can do the same work with a lot less maintenance.
So where has the A16 outperformed, then?
Customer service, healthcare, childcare, lots of hospitals, offices, and, you know, adult industries.
Oh.
Ah, so they do have the fun bots. Oh no, I've killed him.
No, I was just waiting for you to do the next line.
Sorry, I couldn't tell if Discord had, like, cut you off and you just died. Sorry, I didn't mean to be blunt. I just...
No, it makes sense. They're warm and soft to the touch and... obedient. I'm just surprised to hear it from a company employee.
There are a lot of people at the company who won't talk about it. But I work in quality assurance. I've seen too many damages to pretend it's not happening.
Damages?
What we call it when a customer tries to return a product that's clearly broken beyond repair.
Oh.
A very high turnover. in the pink market.
Hasn't stopped you from selling to them.
Well, we don't sell to them, not directly. But there are resellers, and the company's never pretended to be interested in going after them.
Are there resellers? I thought I read that Right to Repair got shut down again.
There's been a gray market for softer androids for years or decades, depending on your definition of android. Based on the sales numbers I've seen, Right to Repair getting canned was barely a blip on their radar. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable with this topic.
Huh? Me? No, I don't care. I just realized my left sucks on the inside out.
Damn, now I'm wondering that about myself.
He bought that? Okay. Okay, thanks for sharing that data.
Sure, did you find what you were looking for?
Hell if I know.
Fair enough. Ah, there we go.
Oh, so you can click unlock things. Did not know that.
They eventually unlock, it just depends on, like, finding, like, dialogue and articles and whatnot.
Okay, I didn't know that. I know you're convinced the tenants are safe. So how do you square that with what happened to David?
There's a cat next to a dog. First answer that comes to mind, is the dog to the left or to the right?
I'm just gonna go with my gut on this one. I'd say the dog is on the right, the cat is on the left.
You might expect half of people to say left, half to say right. But actually, their answer is almost entirely dependent on their native tongue. Whether it's read right to left or left to right. The language they speak affects how they process information.
This is actually I'm so sorry to interject. This is actually, I think, pulling information in reference to oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name of the theory, but there's a specific linguistic theory that discusses how the orientation of the person can, in fact, be as a result of the linguistic, the cultural components in the language they're in, and the literal kinds of, we call them lemmas. So you might think word, right? No, a lemma is a concept. It is a concept that is stored in the brain that creates neurological pathways and neurological connections between concepts. There is a level of elasticity to them, and I could get onto the neurolinguistics of this for like a minute, but the point being is that the connections that we make in our native tongue are going to be different depending on the lemmas that exist within that culture and within that language. What this is pulling from is that specific scientific hypothesis and theory.
No, that's super interesting. Because, like, for instance, like, the reason why I picked that is also one of the reasons why I'm, like, I have to deal with stuff is I've got that thing where I actually have to mentally struggle to tell my left from my right. So I went with right because it just seemed like the dominant area.
Which makes sense, but
yeah,
there is an actual, like, I don't remember what the study was on specifically, but there is actually like a specific lean in directional and how people will like literally view something in their mind, again, in their like the concepts of their brain based on the either cultural structure of a language in an orthographic system, or again in a lot of cultures that maybe perhaps don't have like a written language based on, so like for example, if you take like ASL or any number of sign language, right? They don't have like a right to left, right? But they do have, in that case, dominant and non-dominant. So in a lot of cases, right, because genetically speaking, there's a higher percentage of dominant right-hand users, right? If your cultural background is informed by the right hand, you are more likely to think with the right over the left, and vice versa.
That's super interesting.
Yeah, we could have an entire podcast slash like I believe there's actually a couple. I'll have to see if I can dig through it. There are actually a couple of really fascinating documentaries about this as well, about the theory and also challenges against that theory. Yeah, like I said, we would be here for a minute.
But this is why I love having like you and Zako on here, because everyone adds something different to the stream that makes it like different from all the other people who are streaming the game.
Their language affects how they think. And it's the same for machines. People can learn new languages and it can change our perspective. But machines can't learn a new source code. Every update's a reincarnation. That android did kill David. It wasn't because a 0 returned as a 1 somewhere. It's because there's something fundamentally wrong with it.
It doesn't have tenants, we know this.
And personally, I think it's cruel to bring something that flawed into the world.
Yeah. Unnecessarily cruel.
Any other questions before I go find a hole to hide my head in?
I'd like to take a look at this. I'd like you to take a look at this.
Chemistry's a little outside my purview. What is this?
A compound found in David Ash's blood.
The poison? What is it?
Didn't match anything in any database the medical examiner had access to.
That's crazy.
Here's a crazy idea to follow it up. See if it's a match for anything in Noble's internal databanks.
We, don't make poison here. I'm not sure what that would accomplish.
No, but this is a factory floor. You could be making baby blankets out there. You'd still have hazardous materials around.
You think it was something industrial? Suppose it could be. Looks like it's carbon-based. Narrows it down a bit. Huh, it's not exactly...
What is it?
It doesn't make any sense, but it's a match for patent NOD 52345S. A synthetically produced neurotransmitter analog for usage in organic android components.
Serotonin. That explains a lot. A neurotransmitter would interact directly with the nervous system. In David's case, depressing it enough to put his life in danger. It also explains why it was preset in his personal nanofacturer. Zer's nervous system, worth 10 times its weight in the platinum, must be pumped full of it.
So they think that is what killed him?
Helen Jung led the development of serotonin, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
I should go ask her about its composition then.
Normally, someone at her level wouldn't be able to answer specific questions about a compound formulated years ago. But she does have a reputation for being very detail-oriented.
That works out nicely then.
They say that she's the type of person to micromanage how much water people drink at 15-minute stand-up. I heard a rumor that she once said bathroom breaks are timesheet theft.
Aren't they?
I'm
kidding. But you should be careful about criticizing a superior where people could be listening. Good thing we've got privacy in your office.
No one but the two of us listening in.
Thanks for cooperating, Dawes. When the state storms the building and starts zip-tying people, I'll let them know that you were helpful.
Yeah, nice joke. You are joking, right? Oh, don't click anything. Yeah, do that.
Actually, there's
Just
more.
one more thing.
Oh, there's just one more thing I wanted to ask you.
What's that?
How long have you been a corporate spy?
I love it. I love it.
What?
Yesterday, you let it slip that you worked in consulting. Had your guard down because I'm not part of the industry.
I was a consultant. What are you talking about?
When I walked in here, you said you didn't know how David died. But just now, you called serotonin a poison.
What? I just assumed if a chemical was found in a dead man.
And I'm sure you've got practice answers for every logical point I could raise, so I'll just say this. Does the nervous guy, I bet, really work on people?
Keep your cool and people don't know what you're thinking. But if you act a little jumpy, they feel inclined to calm you down. Before they know it, they're spilling their guts just to have something to fill the silence with. No, it's not entirely an act these days. To answer your question, I did 3 tours in consulting. 4 quarters of internal affairs, spy hunting at the Western Division, then 8 embedded at Howe Industries. 24 months wearing different faces, answering to different names, sleeping for 1 hour at a time with 3D printed shiv under my pillow. My nerves are completely shot. My cover wouldn't last a day if I went back under.
So you're a spy for Noble.
I love that in the cyberpunk dystopian future that corporate espionage is basically literal war spy work.
Yeah. I mean, they have...
Isn't that basically what that is already?
I mean, to a degree, the ships show that it's gotten to the point that their GDP is higher than that of the country.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
You're working 6 days a week.
5.5 days a week, and in quality assurance. Trust me, this position is a cushy, generous reward for my past services.
Well, you can't be that retired. Clearly no more than you're letting on.
I have some old inboxes I still check.
So you can tell me what the hell is happening around here. Why, I'm the one investigating David's death, while your old co-workers are off twiddling their thumbs.
It's that story. The soldier, the blood transfusion.
Blood, not accident. He's finally shooting straight. Did something happen to him afterwards? Did transfusion not last?
No, there's nothing wrong with the blood. It's the story itself. There was a soldier, and he did get injured. But it was on a base during a training exercise. There was a medical tent 10 meters away the whole time. The transfusion was just a fortuitous live test. His life was never in any danger.
Doesn't make for much of a tearjerker.
Not even a good photo op. Which our competitors understood. One of them, maybe a few of them, got a hold of the story, started puffing it up, astroturfing, painting over socials and virals. By the next morning, we had the military thinking we're leaking like a sieve. Meanwhile, the media's bombarding us with requests for videos and interviews and data. And the state's praising our tech with one side of their mouth while threatening to mist us with the other for getting so greedy. Everyone in Noble's CCE has been slammed ever since. Trying to find an off-ramp for the story that we can walk back the claims on without torpedoing our state contracts. I don't know what happened to Asher, whether it was an AI gone rogue or a company infighting gone too far. But I can tell you, it wasn't done by consultants.
And we just got the achievement neck deep in consulting.
That all you wanted to know?
You worked in CCE. Was David actually seeing a psychiatrist, or was it all cloak and dagger bullshit?
I know that office. Know some old co-workers who see them.
So it's a front.
They do both. So he was probably getting training, and he was probably talking to someone. Sorry, not the answer you're looking for.
Hoping. I wasn't hoping for any answer. The answer I expected was...
You okay?
That's all. Unless you've got any advice.
You're saying you want a consultation?
Couldn't hurt, right?
This company, all these companies, hate to lose. So don't fight them. Make them think you're fighting for them.
Well, that's just the business as usual for me.
I love DOS.
Yeah, no, I like that I could actually parse out, like, what I believe is a very solid, like, actually happened. But then they can throw in stuff like, no, we've been talking to a corporate spy. And we just figured that out.
Mm-hmm.
Up until now, there's been this grating ambiguity about what actually killed David. We've had to use guesses and process of elimination and even goddamn pseudonyms. But I finally identified what the poison was. Now, I just need to figure out how it got there. Or rather, who put it there. Which brings me back to here. An elevator shaft somewhere above ground, with kilometers of concrete facelessness and bureaucratic authority surrounding me on all sides. An enemy in every cubicle. Oh, in every office of every floor of this temple. Built to interpret the inscrutable divinations of a temperamental oracle named Share Price. Back in the belly of the beast. And that is really a great metaphor, but terrible to cold read. And yet, I feel more at ease now that I have all weekend. Makes sense. Now that I know Noble's my enemy, I know where to aim. All that's left to do is pull the trigger.
Also, you want to complain about cold reading. I had to cold read all those numbers.
Trust me, I know! This game is not kind to any of us. It just rewards our serotonin at the end. Good thing I didn't bring a knife to this fight. I brought my gun. And that sound just now tells me that it's playing its role perfectly. I'll never have a real use for a firearm with this much bloatware. But just by carrying it around and paying attention to when the hard safety flips on, I'll always get a heads up when the police have entered the vicinity.
Oh, right, the gun she got at the very, very beginning.
Okay, before we do this, I need to use the bathroom real quick, so bio break for all of us because it's been 2 hours.
Go for it.
Our stream now.
Twice on one night. And thank you all, chat, for the compliments for my David performance earlier. I've been really looking forward to that.
Pardon?
Earlier, chat was saying, like, good job on the reading for David, so I was just thanking them back.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Wow, I can't words right now. I'm so sorry. No, I misheard what you said. But yes. Yes, very good read.
I am returned.
Welcome back.
All right. This be you, Zako.
Oh no, Morgan sent the text.
Oh, hi, Detective Reyes. It's Morgan. I can read. Happened to get your contact info when you got me cleared for this crime scene yesterday.
Delete contact. Block this contact. Stop voice to text. How to stop voice to text.
Just wanted to check in.
Report this contact. Voice to text disable.
And advise you that Noble's scared shitless of you stomping in and nationalizing the place. So, they might be a little uncooperative when it comes to fetching documents.
Block this contact. What makes you think we're at Noble?
My bad then. Forget I said anything. And whatever you do, don't start your investigation with their stock buyback program.
Trying reverse psychology, it only works if I care what you think. Stop voice to text.
About time. I thought I'd have to ride the elevator for the next half hour. Morgan, counselor. Oh, automated voice.
Morgan, counselor, your presence has been requested on the upper floors.
Deja vu.
Might you have a moment to speak in private?
Always! But who's asking?
The board.
At that point, I believe even I, as Morgan, would shit the brick. What are the chances? I've been wanting to speak to them, too. Now, is it wrong that I kind of want the board to just be like the fucking, What was the group of people that funded Evangelion in the universe?
Zeal?
Yeah. Like all the Zeal heads whenever they're talking to Gendo.
Oh, who was young again?
I think it was you?
Oh, was it? Alrighty.
Mm.
Evangeline Morgan.
Helen Young.
Thank you for making time in your schedule.
Her posture, her tone, the fold of her clothes, professional, dialed up to 11. Corporate armor, full set. Her guard is up. Just Morgan is fine.
You're just a few minutes early, Morgan.
Typically corporate, never be the first one to show up in pissing contest nonsense. It doesn't even make sense. They called me here. How could I possibly be early?
Nah, flip that. Flip the board.
Yeah.
We're hostile now.
Oh, that's embarrassing. I didn't mean to catch you all off guard. I'll go wait outside in that case, so you can all collect yourselves. I'm just surprised that Noble Electronics could screw up something as simple as a meeting start time. But I'm not well versed in the art of staring at emails.
You've made your point, counselor. Don't push your luck. Not with these people.
Might I dare to ask who these people are?
You don't have time to remember their names, and it won't do you much good either.
Right, so they're not just rich, they're anonymous rich.
The Mob Act guarantees a minimum level of security and peace of mind for any citizen who might be targeted due to their financial status. I don't like the sound of that. Can we read that real quick?
Yeah.
The Protection of Reasonable Anonymity Act is a law passed in 2059 and amended in 2061 intended to protect the safety of individuals with income above the 99th percentile of the nation. Labeled in the press as the Mob Act for its supposed goal in hindering mob justice, the PRAA establishes procedures and funding for technology that helps individuals within that particular tax bracket keep their name, face, and address off the main net, ensuring that they and their families are not prejudiced against just because of their financial status. Economic uncertainty and civil unrest in the late 2050s led to a series of highly publicized crimes wherein corporate executives at a number of high-profile companies were stalked, harassed, and assaulted in net organized flash lynchings. After a particularly chaotic attack that resulted in the hospitalization of a 14-year-old, the PRAA was proposed, debated, and signed into law in just under 11 hours. A flash lynching case has not gone to trial since 2062, but the PRAA continues to protect some citizens to its day. Some economists have pointed to the PRAA and its promise of anonymity as to why the nation has enjoyed a relative resurgence in corporate immigration over the last few decades, but the purposefully obscure nature of the law's implementation have made the task of weighing its true economic impact effectively impossible. So you cannot eat the rich in the future? Fuck that.
I also want to check this because I think I know what this is about.
A net slang term for spy or undercover police officer. Derived from groundhog, a burrowing rodent known for standing erect on its hind legs when scanning its surroundings for predators.
Okay. I thought they were going for something more akin to demagogue, but it wasn't spelled that way. Spoken like...
I mean, given the game, that was probably on purpose. Like, okay, how do I put demagogue into this? Groundhog? Perfect!
You say that, but I believe it. Spoken like a true believer. Except Mob Act is what normal people call it. Tearing the party line, but allowing yourself one instance of rebellion? Or just a slip of the tongue. I would not fault anyone for wanting their privacy, especially not job creators.
Ugh.
But it must get pretty inconvenient not having a name to call them.
Not really. Conversations with them are always one-sided.
Sounds like a great environment to do business in.
Look at the building you're standing in. We managed to eke out a meager profit somehow. So if it works...
Didn't take you for a Mike Makes Right type.
And I didn't take you for a clueless bore incapable of reading the room.
Sorry, did I say something off color? I was only being casual since it's just the two of us in here. Yeah, that's the worst thing you ever want to hear from a lawyer. Maybe we should take advantage of this rare bit of privacy. Clear the air.
You're here to ask about Sarah, yes? As I said before, I had no idea that Dr. Asher had been building an android on his private property. And I can say here and now that no one at Noble Electronics had ever suspected that he was working to undermine the Tenet framework. Actually, yeah, El Robot's got it right. We got a real red versus blue. We have someone who absolutely despises and undercuts the corporate system versus a true zealot of its culture.
A true zealot and actual benefactor of its culture.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to sound candid in her tone, but she's choosing her words with a surgeon's scalpel. Was she coached? Is that the truth, or is that your statement as VP of Android Futures?
It's both, of course. Dr. Asher was always more than happy to hole himself up and work independently. We both know that.
True, he could be pretty reclusive. I'm sure it caused all kinds of headaches, him disappearing on you all like that. Must have been especially difficult when he came back with breakthroughs that propelled Noble to the top of the industry.
You should take a seat. If that's everyone, shall we begin?
Ah, yeah!
Whoa! Hey!
Close enough. Friendly bunch.
It's literally even the sound only bit.
Is there a problem with the sound? Anyone get muted by accident?
No.
Okay. Thanks for having me. I don't want to take too much of your time. I'm actually a bit flustered having you all show up here. I didn't expect to talk to anyone higher up than a service associate.
So wait, if this is all Zeal, and if Helen is supposed to be Gendo, then does that make Dawes Fuyutsuki?
Dawes isn't up there high enough. He's got a cushy position, but he's not constantly having to deal with other people's messes.
Fair enough. You're investigating the death of Dr. David Asher. Why wouldn't we take that seriously?
Because you want me to go away. At least, half of you do. The others aren't sure yet.
You must be confused. The board is, as always, united in its decisions and its visions for the direction of this company.
Uh-huh. A board of directors is just 13 roulette-rolling psychopaths who get together and vote on whether or not to execute their CEO every 6 months.
God damn!
None of them would be where they are if they were anything else. But I happen to know how that kind of person thinks. The way I see it, there are two possible outcomes. Option 1, you oppose me. Shut me out completely, stonewall me, stall me, wait for me to walk into trial so unprepared and ill-informed that I inevitably lose. Obviously, I don't like that option. But you can't be big fans of it either. If I lose, the world will learn that David Asher was killed by an android he programmed. That every customer you've ever had, every lawyer they've ever seen on TV, every firebrand strapping young 60-year-old junior senator looking to make a name for themselves will use your company to balance the sheets as their personal chew toy.
The company is more than capable of...
After which the state still might just gobble you up. And throw down enough sanctions to deperson whoever among you cries no fair.
The company and its allies at the capital can more than fend for themselves.
Yes, probably, but not definitely. Which makes it a gamble. Still, my turn to talk. Then, on to option 2. You cooperate with me. I use what you give me, or forge for me, to win at trial, proving that David wasn't killed by an android. When the markets open tomorrow morning, you all get another round of stock buybacks in on the initial dip. Then pat yourselves on the back for staying calm as you continue to profit off David's legacy for the next 100 years. And you won't even have to worry about him speaking out of turn.
That's only if you win. If the company cooperates with you, denies that David was killed by... and the state beats you anyway, it would be catastrophic.
Yeah, it's a gamble. But if at least some of your board wasn't considering taking it, I wouldn't be here. We're all busy people, and I'd hate to drive a wedge between such a close-knit group of friends. So how about this? Option 3. Hedge your bets.
What?
Put a little on black, put a little on red, spread the love, and lower your risk profile.
And
Don't-
if you really want to be smart, put at least one chip on double green.
Don't make any statements about the trial. Tell the media the state's got your windpipe in a vice. Wait until just before the markets open Monday to send out your PR packages for rubber stamping. After, you already know who's won. One way or another, this trial will be over before the end of the day, and you'll never hear from me again. So just don't shut me out completely for a few hours.
And does anyone second that motion? Very well. We can answer some of your questions, Counselor.
Better make them count then. No reason to be shy now. The poison that killed David Asher has been identified as serotonin. You're familiar.
It's one of our many patented materials, as I recall.
You recalled it pretty easily yesterday. Gee, what's changed?
But intellectual property law can be very complex, Counselor. I'm not sure how much I or anyone at the company could tell you about serotonin at this time.
Well, if you can't tell me about it, who could? You did lead its development, didn't you?
Yes, I oversaw the project, but just makes it that much harder to speak freely without compromising the confidentiality of the teams that reported to me.
I understand. That sounds like bullshit and I don't believe it. But I'm not asking for trade secrets here. It's a perfect match for the only foreign substance found in his blood. Serotonin is what killed him. The state will say the same.
That's not possible.
Care to elaborate?
I'm sorry, but I can't say any more at this time.
So much for cooperating. And if I were to ask you as an officer of the courts,
Then I would ask you to be patient and wait until this afternoon. ADA Rockford has already called me to testify.
already? Damn it! I got cocky because the cops' late arrival. I must have gone straight for the throat first thing this morning and left the investigating for later. Hell, knowing her, she probably managed to ID the serotonin before she went to bed last night. So are we still having this conversation then?
As I said, I'm sorry. But I have to take more than just my personal feelings into consideration here. There's a great deal at stake.
Corporate speak for, you're too stupid to understand why I'm being dense. She's just trying to shield the company, plain and simple. LARPing as Helen Young, the Ark, on a crusade against government overreach.
Aha!
But if she's that busy defending Noble, she might be leaving herself unguarded. Why is she here, anyway? Why am I speaking to her and not her lawyers? That's right. This is a vulnerable position for her. She wouldn't put herself in check like this, not unless she was forced to. Oh boy, didn't expect gameplay.
Uh-oh.
So that's it. Acting as their mouthpiece isn't some honor for her. This is a punishment she's been being used as a meat shield. They're upset with her, perhaps even suspicious of her. Time to find out why. Has David's will been located?
It had never gone anywhere. It's still in a safety deposit box. We'll retrieve it and have it read once all the unknowns surrounding his death have been made into knowns.
So David's will hasn't even been part of the equation yet. It might not be for weeks at this rate. Is that calculated though?
I say stay. It really doesn't. It really seems like that the will is being set up as a red herring.
Whatever else the courts ends up labeling her, Sarah is a remarkably lifelike android. Had things worked out differently, you might have wanted her as the A16 poster girl. Or A17. Or A18. Could have driven a lot of sales, her cute little pout projected across the side of skyscrapers.
Hypothetical of a hypothetical. As has been made tragically obvious to all of us, that Android is nothing like the A16. That it may yet be associated with our products going forward is nothing more than a massive liability.
But you wouldn't have A16 without her, and if they could take her apart and learn from her, they could have the world. So, was the motive to try and pry Sarah away from him? I'm thinking press.
Sure.
Sarah's worth a lot of money, in part because of her creator isn't around to replicate her. Were you all hoping to take her by force and reverse engineer her once David was out of the way?
Don't be absurd. That machine is nothing but lawsuits and congressional hearings and PR nightmares waiting to happen. Ooh! The company doesn't need her, no matter how advanced she is. We only need steady growth and increased market share.
Trying to steal away Sarah with brute force, bloody force, does seem absurd when she puts it that way. I have to admit I'm surprised you aren't more shaken up today, Miss Young.
I'm processing.
After all, you and David did have a history. You started at the same time, didn't you?
Yes, we were colleagues and cordial with one another. Definitely, Press.
Don't be so modest! You helped him create the one-point doctrine that saved the company. That is a Oh, sorry, you.
That is a gross exaggeration. Noble is far too large an organization to be affected by the contributions of any single individual.
I call bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, companies always love to piggyback on one golden goose and then bleed them fucking dry.
Vaughn, Zako, I have some stories after this gets off stream about that specific thing.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Suppose you're right. No one person could change Noble's fortune overnight. Except for David Asher, of course. But he was a once-in-a-generation talent. The guy Noble chose for the advertisements and the one they commissioned editorials about. Sorry, you're right. I shouldn't have equated the two of you. I just hope his one-point doctrine doesn't fall out of favor now that he's gone.
Yes, well, we certainly wouldn't want that.
Well, she didn't exactly explode with rage, but she's definitely reacted. There's real jealousy there. Whether it's boiled over, though.
I guess press on the will, then.
Well, David and Noble's just opened up.
Oh, yeah, that's new.
I didn't mean to pry about your relationship with David, or lack thereof. Suppose I'm just curious about his standing inside of Noble as a whole.
David Asher was, and always will be, an outstanding contributor to the company's forward progress. Nothing will ever change that.
Not even if he was killed by one of his own creations?
That would, of course, be a tragic element that would call for reconsideration of his legacy.
She was almost off guard there. Like she was surprised for me to be asking about Sarah ruining his reputation.
Yes.
Besides Sarah, David's reputation was crystal clean. He never went against the company once. Did he?
That's...
Unless I'm mistaken and he and Noble were on bad terms. In that case, I might get the impression that some part of leadership were actually glad to see him taken off the chessboard.
That is not.
Something buzzing in your ear?
fine. I suppose it makes no difference if you hear it now, or at the trial, or in your feed tomorrow. Dr. David Asher was being sued by the company for breach of contract. Satisfied?
Now we're talking. Well then, I suppose that's... blackjack.
Yeah!
So you couldn't have mentioned this breach of contract earlier?
Not without complicating the company's position unnecessarily, no. But there's no hiding it at this point. It'll all come out soon enough.
There's a paper trail.
Much more than that, we've been making moves to let him go for some time.
Noble Electronics parting ways with David Asher. Must have been one hell of a breach of contract. What'd he do?
He betrayed the confidence of the board.
Was he contesting the suit, putting up a fight, engaging in legal battle against a mega corporation without even telling me?
Until recently, yes.
You mean until he died? How recently?
We spoke on Friday.
That was what you two talked about in his parlor.
No, this was earlier in the day. We were in this room, actually. Him, me, and several members of our legal department. It was an arbitration.
And did you come to an agreement?
A compromise. He would resign from his position in 2 quarters, foregoing royalties on any products we would develop after the next 24 months. In exchange, he wouldn't be publicly fired, and he would still be credited on all past, present, and future filings.
How very reasonable. On paper, maybe. No matter what the deal was, letting go of David Asher is insanity.
Reasonable? Yes. We ended on a good note, I like to think. We shook hands, even took a photo.
Yeah, that looks lovely.
David does not want to be there. Huh.
Something funny. Didn't know the board told jokes.
They don't. That was legal, expressing their displeasure with how much paperwork my good note ending left them stuck with. Children. It was just one night of overtime.
So while they were spending their Friday night blowing the ink dry, you paid a visit to David's penthouse. Something left unfinished?
Professionally, it was a good meeting. There was no yelling, no finger pointing. Much cleaner than expected. But Dr. Asher did not want to retire. He didn't want to be forced out of the company when he was the one when he had contributed so much. I didn't enjoy doing that to him, so I came over that night to apologize to him. We talked, reminisced. When he brought out the drinks, I thought we'd be toasting to a new day. A few minutes later, he was dead. Because of that AI.
That AI? Any idea how it came to be?
As I said, I had no idea he was working on it.
My question was more broad than that. If you really believe David built an AI, how do you think he did it? How does Noble Electronics think he managed to work around the tenants?
It's quite beyond my area of expertise. And no one at the company could call themselves an expert in illegal technology. But some in the R&D department have theorized that he created what they call a wax-wane decaying priority loop. Which, as I understand, is an unstable, resource-intensive theoretical method for pseudo-randomizing the weight amongst preset tenants.
Well, that's far off target as it gets with About as off-target as it gets with that guess.
But that kind of ill-and-elegant brute force nonsense seems a far cry from the kind of thing David would create, and I seem to have taken us over our allotted time slot.
But I didn't give away goodbye.
You're serious about this trial.
Don't I look it?
You're not just making a play. You're actually going to defend that thing.
I'm just defending myself, Miss Young.
Oh yes, of course you are. My mistake.
I hoped you might be rooting for me. To tell you the truth, I may yet save everyone's stock options.
The stock options will be alright either way. They always are.
That gamble I offered your board? Which outcome would you bet on?
Finally, an easy question. What I would bet is that whatever the outcome, the company will eat it up and shit it out with very little difficulty. You painted an ugly picture back there, but I've already seen the future.
Do tell, Cassandra.
And it's just another marketing gimmick. The great Dr. Asher, too smart, too bold, too far ahead of his time. What spark of his genius remains buried in the inspired animate 19?
I guess that depends on...
You were exactly right. He is more valuable to Noble as a dead man. Dead men can't step out of line or put their foot in their mouth or hold politically inconvenient opinions. To a good salesperson, a dead man is just another selling point. Pardon my outburst. I'm just tired. It's been a very long week for me.
I'll let you prepare for your afternoon. Then, Dr. Young.
No one calls me doctor. I ask them not to.
You didn't want the title?
At times I have thought very little of it. The PhD I earned from the Noble-owned school.
Biochemistry. It couldn't have been a large department at Noble before they started work on warm androids in earnest. They probably didn't have many expectations for the program back when she was part of it.
But I was proud of it when I first got it.
Something changed?
It never seemed to catch on. People didn't use it, so eventually I told people not to use it. A very high IQ social power play, you understand.
David never insisted that people use it either?
That's very different, and I think you know it. David Asher didn't have to. Damn.
Yeah, no. Like, the fact that at the end you could tell she's actually still grieving, that's what makes it hurt. I'm going into this trial, my trial, with a lot less ammunition than I'd like. I'm beginning to form a picture of what actually happened, maybe even circling the drain on a suspect. But Emma won't be generous enough to give me breathing room. She'll want to end this fast. Maybe if I do badly enough, it'll flip her sadistic switch and she'll want to keep playing.
Now, the witch, I definitely remember was Ceres. Refresher, old, funny, mentor lady.
So you got charged with owning an AI. First time you do something exciting in your whole life. You gotta find out through the... and I gotta find out through the fucking grapevine.
My life is plenty exciting.
Freckles. You could bore the polish off a resume-checking robot. I've Catholic school teachers with more active night lives than you.
That is, wow. Oh, I actually have to press specifically this point to actually make the dialogue go further. Okay.
So who'd you rope in? Anyone I know? Oh shit. Are you representing yourself?
Fits within my budget.
Screw your budget, you're going to jail!
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
It ain't a matter of how good a lawyer you are. Anyone who represents themselves in a court has fool for counsel.
Oh. I kind of like that they took that and they, like, cultural migration, it flipped. You represented yourself countless times.
Not for anything I had a chance of losing. Your pal hasn't even been dead 48 hours. You're too close to this. You'll make mistakes.
The powers that be really didn't want to give me a rain check. They're taking this very seriously.
It's more dangerous than that. They're scared.
Is there precedent? An ad committing murder?
How do you pass law school without learning how to look this stuff up?
I know what the net says. I'm asking you. Oh, it's just on a lag.
The answer to that is not helpful to you at the moment. Lol.
So what words of advice do you have?
Get yourself a new lawyer.
Gonna close this chat now. I love that there's a delay of actual texting.
Don't lose, Freckles.
You don't need to tell me that. Sarah's.
Yeah, give me just a second,
Oh,
sorry.
You're fine.
You're good.
It was an important text, sorry.
No, you're good.
What are you reading?
I was reading David's employment contract with Noble Electronics before I got waylaid by spam texts.
The one we found inside the panic room? Looks quite extensive. Should I skim it for you?
Depends. Did you pass the bar exam since the last time we spoke?
Damn.
You comfortable?
I'm not.
Ever seen that old movie with the gorilla and the skyscraper? They bring it to the city and...
I understand the analogy.
I wish I could call it overkill. But considering the specs Sarah put up yesterday, maybe those bindings aren't even heavy enough. Come to think of it, those numbers must have been faked along with the rest of what the machine read. If that was all a smokescreen David added to help her lay low, then her actual strength is more like... If your joints weren't currently locked up tighter than a vice, do you think you could escape this place?
I hope that question is not indicative of your strategy.
This is me trying to distract you, Sarah. Enjoy the hypothetical.
I would estimate that the building's automated security would put 9 holes in me before I reached that door.
9's not so bad.
I would not be able to function after the 7th.
Ah. Well, if you haven't been planning some great escape...
I would not do that. That would be illegal. And you would still be on trial.
I remember. So what have you been doing all day, then?
I am attempting to recover memories from Friday.
You can do that?
It's not dissimilar from the process of recovering data erased from any other computer,
Except you maybe not be a computer.
despite the difference in scale. I won't be able to remember everything, but if successful, I could recall individual pieces of information that could prove useful.
That's a lot of coulds. And even if you're successful, you may not like what you find. Whatever happened that day, either you or David wanted you to forget it.
Yes. But even so, I have to remember. Because it's the last day Father and I...
Any luck so far, then?
I can recall a slightly musty scent.
Wow, case closed.
What about you? Have you formulated a plan for the trial's proceedings?
Something like that. Young insists that serotonin isn't what killed David. I don't buy it. There's no other explanation for how he died.
So she's lying?
And if she repeats that lie on the stand, I'll need to expose it.
Somehow.
Somehow.
Would she really commit perjury to protect Noble? To protect one of Noble's patents?
Now, Sarah, I want you to understand this is based on a very specific game.
Mhm.
She doesn't strike me as quite the corporate zealot she makes herself out to be.
But you believe that she had something to do with Father's death?
What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know why anyone would kill Father.
Considering the possible consequences of what he confessed to in his journal, I can think of...
But then again, I don't understand why anyone would kill anyone.
Let me tell you, kid.
Do you?
Bell's tolling for thee. Means that the doors to the courtroom are unlocked. Let's... Wait, can you walk like that? What will I have to do? Wait a second. Across the hall, that's...
Hey!
Everybody gets parts! Keep waddling, Sarah. I'll catch up.
As you say.
This'll be a coin toss.
You that surprised to see me?
I'm not surprised you'd want to see the outcome of this trial. I am surprised you'd want to talk to me.
You're defending the android, right?
I'd say, be honest, we were
Yeah.
straight shooting with him before.
Yeah. I'm defending Sarah's innocence. I don't think she killed David. Do you?
I don't think it matters. Noble is what killed David. Whether it was a pen stroke or a sleeper agent, killer android, or plain old goddamn arsenic, they...
Again, he is just young Lychee.
How could anyone that smart be that dumb? Why the hell did he ever sign his soul over to them?
David may have been in over his head, but he wasn't a bad negotiator. I've read his contract. His position was strong.
You're the lawyer. But a guy like me, working in music, Can't tell you how many people I've seen screwed over by a big smile and a bat signing bonus. No such thing as corporate generosity. If you think you're getting a good deal, it's only because you don't know how much you just sold.
How much you just sold. David's real worth lay in his intellectual property, the potential energy of it hanging over the whole industry. If he sued even 1% of the companies taking inspiration from his Turing solution, there's a clause in his contract. If Noble ever did fire David, he would have retained control over all his patents afterwards.
Yeah, see, that sounds nice. Only they never did fire him, did they? He just happened to die.
An unforeseeable act of God. In contract law, they call that force majeure. I expected that to be something I actually couldn't pronounce.
You got it right.
I know. I was like, I have known force majeure is not applicable in my life anyway, but I've known it for years.
I said, did you find anything interesting in the contract?
A few things, yeah. Basically, David was well taken care of so long as they kept him around. And he'd retain control of his patents even after being let go. But what Porter said, logically, if David were to pass, while still employed, Noble would continue to control the bulk of his intellectual property. So, if they knew David was going to leave in a year,
It would be very foolish of them to let Father go.
well, they wouldn't do it for no reason. But for this contract, he could only be fired for serious offenses: corporate malfeasance, revealing trade secrets, fraud.
Father was not a fraud. He was, as they say, the greatest of all time.
Oh no, he was committing fraud! Fraud just means lying to the company about something, Sarah.
Oh,
Eyes up, showtime. For a second there I heard that, I immediately went to the old Tony Storm gimmick, Saka.
On that, I think we probably still have like a large, decent chunk of time left, and we've been going for about 3 hours.
Yeah.
Fair. Do. Okay, that'll make it easy, but also. Alright.
Voila.
Now, you guys tell people where they can find you while I prepare to find us somebody to raid.
Alrighty. I'll go first. I'm Zakoduo. You can find me at Twitch, Twitter, Blue Sky, all that. That's Zakoduo. YouTube now. Please subscribe to my YouTube. It's been getting a lot of traction lately. I've been uploading daily shorts covering the Gundam card game with new card reveals, deck pack openings, advice on the game, rules and whatnot, all that jazz. And I've gotten back into streaming, thankfully. I'm on vacation for the next few weeks, so we'll be going back to it more regularly. We'll be bouncing between Death Stranding 2 and Donkey Kong Bonanza. So, yeah, that's all from me.
Hey y'all, you can find me all over the internet at Tixdixl. This is gonna be probably my last stream for the week, as I'm gonna be out of town and unavailable from Monday all the way through Friday in this coming week. But you can find me on Blue Sky, where I will still be doing Art Fight. That is still going on. I've been doing them in batches, like posting things in batches. So definitely keep an eye out for that. But otherwise, you will see me probably doing things closer to next weekend. And yeah, that's me.
And you've already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. You can find me on Blue Sky and YouTube at Burnout Vaughn, and over on Patreon, Burnout's Bar. Quasi busy week. I am in a stream Monday, not streaming. You can find me over on Amuse and Thalia's channel as they go through their blind play of Deltarune with different people voicing things. Then nothing Tuesday or Wednesday. Thursday we have the next episode of Pack Tactics, I believe. Then Saturday we have Saved by a Spell, and then I think that is it. Those Who Wander right after that.
We are sort of off
Okay,
for a little bit. Yeah, because Kaz is not going to be available for the next 2 planned sessions. But we do have things in the background, in the works. In the meantime, we will make public posts when the time comes.
Okay. Well, we're going to raid Skelly then. So thank you all for coming out. Any idea for a raid message?
I feel like because this just hasn't been used and for understandable reasons, I feel like we should just say I plead the 5th.
Yeah. All right. Thank you all for coming out. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Boy.